All right. I don't know if it's gonna be part of the speech time, but I'm gonna show my visual. All right. I don't know how oh, there we go. Okay. This is my visual. Okay. Ready? Does this sound familiar? You're staring at your class from the front of the classroom. You utter out some sounds that could possibly be words. The teacher looks at you. The class looks at you. You see yourself in third person. This is directly related to confidence. Today, I'm going to explain different techniques to improve your overall confidence so you don't find yourself in this situation. If this scenario sounds familiar, then you want to listen up to this information about confidence. Today, I will explain what confidence is and how lack of confidence affects you, as well as how to improve confidence within yourself. So, with that being said, what exactly is confidence, right? Confidence, defined by Webster Dictionary, is a feeling or consciousness of one's power or of reliance on one's circumstances. But more simply, what does that exactly mean? This means how you feel about your abilities within yourself, right? But keep this definition in mind throughout my entirety of my informative speech. Now that you understand what confidence is, I can explain what lack of confidence can do for you. As described in a Forbes article called "How Does a Lack of Confidence Affect Your Life and Career?" It states that if we were more confident, I'd ask more questions, listen, and respond in an objective way because I'm worried I won't say the right thing. So this basically means that people are too scared to make mistakes. If you lack confidence, you're scared to make mistakes. And if you don't make mistakes, how are you supposed to learn? Because the only way to learn is to make mistakes. The lack of confidence will reduce growth within yourself and maybe your job or a company that you work in. Finally, now it's understood what confidence is and what lack of confidence can do for you. How can you improve your confidence? Well, in an article written by Amy Morin, it is stated that a way to increase confidence is to practice positive self-talk. But what is positive self-talk? This means not talking down to yourself, teaching yourself that you can handle something. So you can't just say bad things to yourself. You have to talk yourself up. You can't talk down or you won't be able to do something. You'll create a non-growth mindset. Another method that Amy Moore mentions in her article is to face your fears. Now, this doesn't mean going out and fighting the biggest guy in town or the busting a drug deal or something. It means facing attainable and achievable fears through reasonable things like maybe asking someone out on a date, applying for a job promotion, asking for a raise, things like that. Overall, I've covered what confidence is and that it's the one's belief in one's self-ability. I've also mentioned that a lack of confidence will hinder your ability to learn and grow. Additionally, there are many ways to improve confidence, but today I talked about positive self-talk and facing your fears. In all, confidence is truly important for everyday life, so that you feel better about doing things from day to day. I hope that after this discussion, you understand those unconfident feelings better, and you now know how to combat them with different proper use of confidence boosting methods. That's one.
Good job.
I don't know how long that was.
Oh, that's fine.
It's probably like 3 minutes or something.
Any feedback?
Some would say 3 minutes is too long. I think it was good, man.
Thanks. I only have one visual. I don't know if we need like 3 or 4, but
For the homework assignment, it asked for 3, but 1's better than nothing.
That was good. You're very well spoken, and you're able to pace yourself, which is good. It's good.
Thanks.
Any
I
other?
think the only thing would be visuals. Other than that, it was pretty good.
Thank you.
All right. Next person.
Go next.
Okay.
Let me share my screen. It's loading. Can you guys see something?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Stop sharing. It's because I need that.
Okay, no, I can't.
No, it was just for. I'm not gonna show it right now. I'm gonna show it when the statistics come.
Got it, my bad.
Just getting my notes out. All right. Can you guys see me well? All right. Imagine a scenario where emotions are considered a weakness, vulnerability and is frowned upon, and seeking help is seen as an admission of failure. Sadly, this is the reality for many men regarding their mental health. During my speech, I'll be informing the challenging stereotypes men face on a day-to-day basis. Have you ever heard phrases like men don't cry or men work and women go to the household tasks? Raise your hand if you can relate. For this speech, I'm going to be talking about 3 main points. First is going to be what is mental health. Second is going to be the effects of challenging stereotypes on men's mental health. And the third, statistics on men's mental health. First things first, what is mental health? The definition of mental health is a person's conditions with regard to the physiological and emotional well-being. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the challenging stereotypes men face in mental health, it is essential to understand what mental health truly means. Mental health is a person's emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how individuals think, feel, and act, as well as how they handle stress related to others and make choices. Now that we know what mental health is and how it affects us, let's discuss now some stereotypes. It is crucial to note that discussing the effects does not involve pursuing. It is crucial to note that discussing the effects does not involve persuasion, but rather shedding light on the potential consequences. For the first stereotype, I chosen emotional suppression. One stereotype that often plagues men in the expectation to suppress their emotions, society has ingrained in is that men should be firm and that showing vulnerability or expressing emotions might be a sign of weakness. However, these expectations can be detrimental effects on men's mental health. By constantly suppressing their emotions, men find it challenging to address their feelings healthily and leading to increased stress, anxiety, or depression. Another stereotype that challenges men is the stigma surrounding help-seeking behavior. Due to social expectations, men are often discouraged from seeking professional help or discussing their mental health struggles. Seeking help is something seen as an admission of failure or a sign of weakness. This stigmatization can prevent men from accessing the necessary support and resources, resulting in prolonged suffering and worsening the mental health. Since we discussed some stereotypes on men face, let's discuss some statistics. So I'm gonna share my screen for my visuals right now. Screen. Where's it? Here's it. You guys can see it, right? All right. So To further understand the scope of the issue, let us take some statistics regarding men's mental health. The numbers provide a glimpse into the prevalence and impact of mental health challenges on men. According to the Health Organization, WHO, approximately 9% of men globally experience a depressive disorder and around 3% depression from anxiety disorders. Suicide rates among men are alarmingly high, and in many countries, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and Australia, suicide is the leading cause of the death among men under 50. Research suggests that men are less likely to seek professional help for mental health issues than women. This medium may be due to the stereotypes mentioned earlier and social expectations surrounding masculinity. In conclusion, challenging stereotypes surrounding men's mental health is paramount. By acknowledging the impact of these stereotypes and promoting a more inclusive and supportive environment, we can foster positive change and encourage men to prioritize their mental health well-being. Remember, mental health knows no barriers, and we must address the stereotypes and barriers that hinder men from seeking the help they deserve. Let us work together to create a society where emotional expression is valid and vulnerability and seeking help are seen as strengths rather than weaknesses. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Sharing.
Yo, that's pretty good, bro. Not gonna lie, because like I really like your topic because it's like definitely true. Like I see it all the time. I have a lot of friends who don't get help because they're just like, I know it's not you didn't like present it in a persuasive way, but I felt that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
They're really good. I love your statistics. I love your visuals.
Yeah, I thought
couldn't
your
find
topic
another
was good.
one. Oh,
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, go.
I was just gonna say I like your pace was nice too, and then like you had a lot of hand gestures like throughout the whole thing, which was good.
Yeah. I could tell you were really focusing on like enunciating your words as well. Like it was very like well spoken and like understandable.
Thank you. I thought I was messing up.
There was just like one part, but I wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't like acknowledged it verbally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you said. Fuck.
Always like
Yeah.
always take a step back and just like, just pay, just help yourself, I guess. Oh my God, my cat's awake.
Do you
Thank
mind
you,
if I go next? Just because my presentation is also related to mental health. So,
Yeah, you could go next.
okay, thank you.
I'm going to turn off my video for a little bit. I'll be back.
You're fine. Okay. Hi, my name is Brandon. I'm going to be talking about homelessness in the United States and California specifically. Has anyone here ever noticed the large amounts of homeless people in California? Have you ever wondered why there are so many? It's because since the 1980s, the US has consistently failed its mentally ill population, forcing their most vulnerable out to the street. Today, I'll be sharing some information about homelessness, mental health, and the close relationship they share. I'll do this by offering a brief assessment on the events that led to today's crisis, the current struggles faced by the mentally ill, and what is currently being done to address these issues. During the 1960s to 1980s, under Governor and eventual President Reagan's administration, there were many slashes to social welfare programs, particularly for those living in urban areas. Additionally, he signed the well-intentioned but ultimately counterproductive Lanterman-Petrus Short Act in 1967, which ended the practice of institutionalizing patients against their will. During this time frame, the intake numbers of mentally ill inmates in California penal systems doubled in the first year of the act. He also repealed other acts that offered protection for mental health funding and other programs, which was instituted by the previous president. Among those most affected during his tenure were people living in federally funded mental health asylums. Under Reagan, federal funding for these asylums was cut, and many patients were diverted to underfunded state-run community clinics, many of which were ultimately never built. It is estimated that as many as 50 to 60% were diagnosed with schizophrenia or other serious mental health concerns. And many of these patients would either be forced to live on the streets due to lack of housing or care facilities, or would die due to lack of care. Unfortunately, much of the funding was never returned following Reagan's terms in office. These policies lead to the eventual crisis that California faces today. It is estimated that as many as 50 to 60% have mental health complications. Further, it is estimated that 10% of Californians incarcerated have a serious mental health diagnosis. For reference, this is a study which was done by a California-based research group that estimates the amount of people that have mental health conditions, which they estimated to be at 78%, or substance abuse, which they estimated to be at 75%. I don't know if that is showing really well, but here we go. Furthermore, it is estimated that currently 10% of Californians incarcerated have a serious mental health diagnosis that would otherwise have them be eligible for institutionalization. Some might argue that it's easier to be homeless in California, which is why there are so many homeless people here. It's somewhat true, but only technically. Estimations show that 90% of homeless people stay local to the area that they lived in previously. In Southern California, that's estimated to be about 80%. Much of today's crisis is related to the high cost of living and lack of resources available to the mentally ill. In LA County, for example, in addition to the struggles they already face, over the last decade, 2.5 million jobs have been added to the local area. In that same time span, only 1 million new living spaces were created. Currently, there are an estimated 65,000 to 70,000 homeless people living on the streets of LA County, and there is an estimated 23,000 beds available for them on any given night. This leads to today's issues. While many recognize that there is a crisis in funding and availability for mental health resources for our at-risk patients, considering that as many as 78% have mental health issues, there are other more pressing concerns. For many, the lack of housing being key among them. In other words, there are many issues and not enough resources currently available to fix them. I said earlier that like 50% of the homeless people that are unsheltered live in California. Here's kind of a graph showing the total amount of homeless people in the US over the last, since 2007, I believe. So currently it's estimated, these numbers might be a little out of date since it's 2020, but it was last estimated to be around 580,000 homeless people living in the United States. Obviously with COVID, they need to do another census to kind of update those numbers, and it's inherently difficult to get accurate numbers. With all that being said, there are many people who may wonder what is being done to address these pressing issues. Recently, the state government has started to involve itself more with the homelessness crisis rather than leaving it to local communities. And while critics say that it still isn't enough, there have been several increases in earmarked money available for housing programs and studies being conducted on the issues at hand. For example, a recent proposed Senate bill would mandate that each county in California be forced to increase the housing available for the homeless population to bring it more in line with the estimated number of homeless people living there. Other changes are things like the Community Assistance Recovery Empowerment Act signed by Governor Newsom, which allows families and first responders to request the judges implement a year-long court-ordered treatment plan, which is hope will break the cycle of being released from mental health institutions only to go back to the streets or prison. These changes, along with more money from the budget being set aside for mental health programs, are all positive signs. Here is some statistics on retention from homeless community living centers for the youth. So you can see that of the 2,500 patients that were released under the age of 18 from mental health institutions, about 17% were homeless within a year of being released. And that's concerning because those are people that should already have places to go back to because they're minors. So it's kind of a sign of like the cycle that starts even at a very young age. These programs all aim to undo some of the damage that years of underfunding and neglect have caused, but much work remains to be done. It is my hope that today's speech will have informed you of some of the issues and some of the reasons behind them. Ultimately, it is our responsibility to the community to protect those amongst us who cannot protect themselves. Thank you for your time.
Good job.
That was good. That was so good. There's so much statistics there. Like,
Yeah, I was worried I put too
Enjoy a
much
lot
in
of
there.
your physical visuals.
I like the poster board.
Dude, I'm not even gonna lie. I was you know those like reviews they made us do for the peers?
Yeah.
One of my peer reviews, there was this girl and she was using like pictures of serial killers for her presentation, and I was like, that is so cool. I should do like a physical. I think it's just like, I don't know, I like the physical one.
Respect that.
It works good. It was good.
Thank
Yeah.
Mhm.
you. Hey, sorry again about yesterday. I know I have a reliability problem.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I don't know. Was that you in the group chat earlier, dude? Because you got me so good.
Wait, who?
Whoever, I'll talk about it later when we're not recording.
Okay. So go next.
Yeah.
Who's next? Or I guess I could go next. Hold on. Let me just. Are you guys able to see good here? Okay. All right. Let me. Oh, okay. 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 Is it good here? Everyone? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Healthcare in Mexico has a vast variety of different insurance systems that make up Mexican healthcare. In this speech, I will talk about the types of insurance that goes into play with Mexican healthcare insurance and also the purpose for their clients. Do you guys ever wish insurance was free or you didn't have to pay so much money just to rely on really good insurance coverage? I know I would be very relieved if I didn't have to pay that much. Some of the things I'm going to be talking about in my speech today. One, I'm going to be talking about the IMSS system. What is it exactly and what is its purpose? Two, I'm going to be talking about the INSABI system. What is it exactly and what is its purpose? And then lastly, I'm going to be showing you guys a statistics graph and just telling you guys what it really means. So the IMSS is called the Mexican Social Security Institute. The IMSS provides public health care through work or either voluntary enrollment. The IMSS healthcare system is funded by a combination of federal government, employer payroll taxes, and individual contributions, where it could be either voluntarily or it could just be on someone's own, like self. So the IMSS helps public health, pensions, and Social Security in Mexico. For the IMSS, you would have to be eligible to have a Social Security number in order to get this public health care from the IMSS. Mexican nationals and foreigners are legally residents in Mexico are already provided with services through the IMSS. Although, along with giving them access to healthcare in Mexico, also the IMSS also provides insurance coverage for their salary. So say if either someone got sick or someone got hurt and they won't be able to go to work, IMSS already has them covered. So IMSS is one way to ensure good healthcare, but it tends to get a little bit tricky. The INSABI system is also a great kind of ultimatum for Mexican citizens that don't either have access to the IMSS program or their Social Security. The INSABI system is called the Institution of Health for Well-Being. The INSABI system covers all citizens of Mexico without Social Security who are eligible for free medical care. The healthcare system was originally designed to provide healthcare for any Mexican community who lived in very extreme poverty, with very such little limited resources That could be doctors, medicine, checkups and stuff like that. And they would be considered as financially challenged. So that's usually where the INSABI kind of looks for when providing this healthcare insurance to them. So based on these two insurance systems, there are the most two popular insurance systems that Mexican citizens and residents usually turn to, just based on what they both have to offer. And based on statistics too, these two insurance systems are most beneficial to the Mexican population. So I am going to be sharing my screen really quick. Okay. Hold on. I have so much little time. Okay. Okay, could you guys see this? Okay, so basically this statistics graph that I'm showing you is based in 2020, so it's a little bit outdated. But this is mainly the majority of the Mexican population and what type of health insurance that they do use. As you can see on the top, over 37.49% of the Mexican population, they are covered and they do use the IMSS insurance program. And then second up on the list, which is 26.06% of the Mexican population that uses insurance, is the INSABI program. And these are the two most popular insurance systems that usually Mexican citizens go to, just because it is a public health care, and the rest on the list down is more of a private health care, which majority of Mexican citizens cannot afford. All right, I'm gonna just stop sharing my screen. Okay. So in this speech, we have talked about the two main insurance systems that goes into play with Mexican healthcare. Based on statistics, the IMSS and the INSABI insurance system covers the vast majority of the Mexican population. Though there might be some challenges getting to Mexican healthcare, but think about why things the way they are just due to the healthcare for Mexican citizens. It's very different while understanding it if you're coming from the outside and doesn't know why the policies are this way, but the main goal is just to ensure that Mexican citizens who are in extreme poverty or not just gets this much support just for the importance of their health. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
That was really good.
That was good. Yeah.
Thank you. We have 4
Very
minutes.
informative.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I like how it was a topic like I think not a lot of people know about. So I was able to learn like a lot from it.
Yeah, I barely know anything about our healthcare system.
Like that's the next topic. Okay.
Persuasive speech.
I know.
I like everything. I like the information about the medical institute that they use here in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Because I live here in Mexico, and like I don't know, like probably 5 blocks away, I have an institute, a hospital there.
Yeah.